You're broke, and you're trying to get into motocross, and have no idea where to start. Aside from a job, you're going to need some tips on how to navigate a low-budget entry into one of the least expensive motorsports. And lucky for you, I went ahead and used my ADHD superpowers to slap this video together. But anyways, hi. I'm Justin, and I've been riding motocross for more than a few years, and I've got some experience to share from my progress as a rider. Like you, I'm also financially irresponsible. So if you end up at rock bottom, could you leave a comment and say, hey, it really gets lonely down here. But enough about me, let's talk about you. You're probably here because of a breakup, so congratulations on finally being single. If there's one thing to keep you from swiping right again, it's a new dirt bike. And if you're trying to find love, nurses come with great health insurance benefits. I won't have to teach you how to meet them because, trust me, you'll figure it out when the time comes. And if you're a lady, this is the perfect time to help you find your inner child while exploring the world. Because let's be honest, it's easier to outrun a bear when you're on a dirt bike. Alright, now that we're done introducing the trauma that brought us here, let's dive into the top 3 questions people keep asking me. Number 1, what bike should I get? Of course this is the top question, what'd you expect? Now this one's simple. You pick the bike you can afford, because if you were financially responsible, you wouldn't have clicked on this video. But just like you, I was once balling on a budget, looking for the most bang for the buck with none of the suck. In other words, I'm going to help you get into motocross with the budget of a shotgun wedding, and you don't even have to buy my course. Now before we get too deep, I'm going to need you to be like 10 Second Tom and forget you ever thought about getting a 450. At least not until you get some more seat time. These bikes will show you just how weak your core strength is, especially when your arms get ripped off from all the torque. You'll end up looking like one of those floppy inflatables you see in front of a car dealership. These are the leader bikes of the dirt bike world, and you're going to get RKO'd faster than you responded to her text before this video. Don't think I didn't notice. Let's take a few steps back and look at trail bikes. Although they aren't as cool as a race bike, it'll still help you cure the itch that you've been so desperate to scratch without making too big of a scab, if you follow me. These are going to be the best value because if you're short on funds or are short in general, these bikes offer a low price point and a lower seat height. Even if you're not mechanically inclined, the maintenance is minimal and they generally don't suffer from serious issues as long as you change the oil and clean your air filter, just like a car. Go figure. A good example is the TTR 125 LE, suitable for all ages and light enough to pick up when you drop it. You can check Marketplace for these bikes. I've seen them as low as $1,000 for one that might not blow up on you. Or if you have a little more cash, spend the $2 to $3 grand for a solid bike. They retail about $3,600 before fees, brand new, so if you want to buy one used, it's the best way to go. Unlike your ex, these bikes have great ROI, which means you can get your money back once you decide to move on to the hotter, faster models. Number 2. Where do you get your riding gear? Alright, if you haven't figured it out by now, you're gonna need protection. Now I know it's too late for those single dads out there, but you too can get into this sport, especially if you have weekends off from split custody. For the jersey, pants, and gloves, you're gonna be dripped out in last year's style, because you can't afford to keep up with today's moto fashion. That's right, we're gonna raid the clearance section. I've found entire gear sets for under $100, when normally that only gets you the jersey. But there's deals out there so you don't have to sell cheeseburgers. Check your local shops and search online. If you're a shop that wants to be listed, this is the perfect opportunity for me to recommend your business on my channel. Gotta respect the hustle, kids. And if you haven't done it already, like and subscribe, and make sure to hit the bell so you can see when I post. Thanks for watching this far. We're about to embark on the most important part of the video, your helmet. It's the most crucial piece of gear that you need to splurge on. You have to protect your brain, and for some of you, it's the part of the body that actually makes all the important decisions. If you haven't noticed already, I've taken quite a few hits to the head over the years, and thanks to the fact that I chose to wear a good helmet, I'm nearly able to keep it together long enough to finish this video. So don't cheap out on your helmet, otherwise you'll actually end up like 10 Second Tom. Helmets with MIPS technology are pretty rad. They improved the helmet to where it rotates the outer shell of the helmet around the internal pads to mitigate angular impacts. This is a game changer so you don't end up with CTE. You'll want a helmet to have ECE 2205 or 2206 certification. For the people that spaced out with all those numbers, just look for this sticker when you're out shopping. Now I can go on about DOT and Snell, but ECE is the certification you really want to look for. If there's one thing the Europeans are good at, it's torture. And these helmets have been put through the gauntlet where they do everything short of waterboarding. In other words, it's like Navy SEAL training, but for helmets. I'm sure you figured it out by now, but a helmet with this rating isn't gonna be cheap. Now I know I said this was a budget video, but the only item I won't cheap out on is a helmet. But I'm still gonna show you how to find one at a low price. Just like the jersey and pants, look for the last year's style and find them on clearance. I was able to find a helmet for $300. You just have to pick a color nobody wants. You're gonna need goggles, but you don't have to go too crazy. You don't need to spend $100 to get the coolest set. You can find a decent pair in the $30 to $40 range. Don't think for a second that I forgot about your feet, because the dogs are next on the list. That's right, you'll need some boots to keep those Doberman pinchers from getting loose at the park. This is the second most important item you need to buy. Boots can also be expensive, but believe it or not, you don't have to spend too much money to get a decent pair. Since you're a beginner, you won't be needing Tech 10s because 1, you're broke, and 2, they're $700. I started with Tech 5s and they kept my ankles in check while learning. There's some good options, just make sure to pick a boot that's made for motocross specifically. They can be found in the $100 to $300 range for a good pair. Congratulations, you just spent your rent deposit to get into motocross. For some people, that's a lot of money, and it really is. The good news is with inflation, these bikes are an investment, kinda. But I'm not here to give financial advice. I'm just here to bless you with the knowledge I've learned over the years so I can pray for the new riders getting into this sport. You're gonna need it. Okay, now that you've completed the acquisition of your gear, assuming you have a way to transport your bike to where you want to ride, we can move on to the third and final question I get asked. Number 3, where's a good place to ride? There's many ways to approach this, and it's probably going to blow your mind when I show you. Alright, you're going to want to open your browser, and you're going to want to go to Google. I know, it sounds simple, but the ADHD people already skipped ahead and went to Marketplace. But you stayed to see the most important step. Pat yourself on the back for taking your meds today. I recommend you find local trails or public riding spaces. In order to do this, search the term OHV Park near me, and you can see what's around you. If you own property, hit me up so we can go ride. Anyways, if you're close to a national forest, there's usually trails for OHV, and some places are run by the state park system, which means you'll need a registration sticker on your bike and a spark arrestor. For you guys who just bought a bill of sale only bike, you're gonna need to go to your local DMV and pay the fee for the sticker and possibly that title. Some states don't have registration laws, so you'll need to find out what works for your state. At the end of the day, this is an extreme sport, and it's considered to be one of the most dangerous activities you can partake in. So please, take it seriously, even though I've been cracking jokes the whole time. Always ride within your ability, start with the basics, and take your time to build up to the big stuff. We're not racing to see who can end up on a t-shirt the fastest. I want to see you last long enough to pass this info down to the next generation. I'll be making more videos in this series to help you guys along with your motocross journey. At least I can help you get started and point it in the right direction. Alright, well that's about as much as I've got an attention span for today, but if you guys like this video, let me know in the comments and I'll make more videos like this. These take a lot of time to make, and your viewership is extremely appreciated. I truly cannot do it without you guys being here. It's truly fulfilling to guide you guys into this awesome sport. God bless you all, and thank you for supporting the channel.
Because you're Gary P, man. The legend. Look at the food.
Hey, that's, well, besides the rice, that's no carbs. That's all, what do you call that?
Keto?
I wouldn't call it keto, but it's close.
Good enough for me.
It's Cheeto.
It's the key to life.